Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast, and we're here to debut a brand new show, Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
What's up? I got John Hammonds on here with me. How are you tonight, John?
I'm doing good, brother.
So we are here to debut a brand new show. We're calling this one Wildcat Weekly. This is going to be all about our media coverage covering the Kentucky Wildcats. And we have a great show set up for you tonight. John, we have a special guest. So
Yes, sir. I'm excited.
our special guest is from the volleyball team, the number 3 ranked volleyball team in the country. And we will get to that in just a minute. But if you're with us on Facebook, we appreciate you. We just want to say you can help support us by sending stars, or you can subscribe to our channel for 99 cents a month. And we appreciate you for being on with us, YouTube as well. We appreciate you. So just want to start out the show. I try to start each show out with that. But we have a special guest on with us tonight from the volleyball team. The volleyball team was bumped up to number 3 in the country today, John, above Louisville to beat all. To be honest with you, they jumped Louisville, who was 3. Louisville fell to 4, and now Kentucky is 3. Coming off of a big win, a sweep of the defending national champs, Penn State, on the road. You're muted, John.
Pretty impressive, to be honest. I mean, they've had a good start to the year, and Coach Skinner's not afraid to play the big dogs. The gauntlet, and he's played Nebraska, Penn State. He's getting ready to play SMU.
Pittsburgh, SMU this week. So
yeah, he ain't afraid of the big boys. It prepares him for the SEC.
This is true. All right. So, guys, we have a special guest sitting backstage. I'm going to go ahead and bring her on the show for you guys. We have sophomore outside hitter Asia Thigpen.
Hello.
Hey, Asia. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing really good. We appreciate you joining us tonight and joining our debut show for Wildcat Weekly here at College Sportscast.
Thank you so much for having us. Were you also going to kind of interview other student athletes like on the basketball team and soccer, or?
That's the plan. We plan on trying to have some guests. We may have some media people here on the show as well throughout the season, some players, maybe even some coaches. But Asia is with us. She is a sophomore here at Kentucky. She was the number 1 ranked recruit out of North Carolina for volleyball. And she also last year was on the 2024 all-freshman SEC team. So, Asia, you had a good year last year.
Yeah, last year was pretty tough. I dealt with a lot of injuries and kind of playing a couple different positions, but I think my team just honestly helped me through a lot of it. I sprained both my MCLs last year, and so it was super hard going in and out, but I think it really helped me for kind of this year.
I know you missed at least 6 games there at one stretch, I know, last year, but you still made the all-SEC team, all-freshman SEC team last year. As a freshman, that's a pretty big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So you are from North Carolina. I think John has a question here for you about North Carolina.
Yeah. I noticed, your dad played for North Carolina as linebacker. What was it like growing up, him coaching at Auburn, just being in that, sports family? What was it like growing up?
Yeah, I think our household is very competitive, as a lot of youth players can also say if you are from a coach's family. But really being around the SEC football with Tennessee and Auburn really just shows you how competitive that conference is. If you're from the South, you know that SEC football is a huge deal. Specifically Tennessee, like the Tennessee Stadium is something that I grew up around, and kind of just that atmosphere really kind of just grew my love for competitive sports as well as at the collegiate level. And it kind of just fueled me to know I want to play in those huge stadiums packed with fans. I want to be surrounded by a ton of people. And so I think that really kind of just fueled my love for sports.
So to kind of go with that, being from North Carolina, you had mentioned in your recruitment that Kentucky was a dream school. Can I ask you, how is it going playing for Coach Craig Skinner?
Yeah. It's been awesome. Like nothing short. It's honestly just been amazing. The staff and every single person that's behind the UK logo is just super supportive. They truly see you as more than just a player. And so I think that was super important for me in my recruiting process of I want to go to a program that not only cares about me, but they care about my mental health. They care about me as a student. They want to give me the resources to succeed during college, and then also push me and challenge me to be the best version of myself when I graduate. So I think that was just it kind of fit all, the checklists when I was looking at schools. And I feel like Craig has just done a great job with the staff. We got some new people on staff this year, and they are just the best.
So you started out the season with a win, and then you guys went to Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, a big, huge arena for you guys to play in. What was that? What was that like playing in such a huge arena?
Yeah, it was awesome. Last year our first match was versus Nebraska in the big Yum Center, and so it wasn't really new for me. But I think there was a couple of new players who we have a ton of freshmen, and so I think that they got to soak in kind of that arena feel. It's something that you can't really prepare yourself until you play in it, kind of like the depth perception and how it feels. But I think honestly, I think our team is going to have a lot more gratitude for playing in the big arenas earlier, because we're going to have to end up playing in it for the SEC tournament. And
And
hopefully
then
that's not fun.
to kind of go with that, you guys got a 2-0 lead on them and kind of struggled to finish them off, and they did come back on you for the win. I just want to know how immediately, what was the locker room like
Mhm.
immediately after?
Yeah, I think we did not play our best, and it kind of, I know it's a loss, but we were honestly very looked at it through like a half glass full view, saying that we did not play as well as we should have. We didn't even go to the tip of the iceberg, and we were pushing the number one team to five. And we're a very new group, and so we just have a lot more room for improvement. And so although we lost, and we definitely should have won in at least three or four, we're just super excited for like our potential. I think we just have the highest ceiling out of anyone in the country.
All right, John, I know you have at least one more question for you.
I got another question. What's it like playing around Eva Hudson? Player of the Year candidate. She came from Purdue. What's it like being around that atmosphere with those around you?
Yeah, she is awesome. She's super, super competitive, which I believe I'm super competitive. So I think we kind of just feed off of each other. And then, she's had a ton of experience with the Big Ten, USA. And so she's kind of been a role model for me. And I can just really learn a lot from her when it comes to shot selection, and just playing in those big moments. She's been in those big atmospheres and those tight matches like a lot since she's a veteran. And so I think I've just learned a ton from her this year.
So I've got a little clip here at the end of the Penn State game. I'm going to show that and then have a question for you.
Tied with quick delay. What a serve from Penn State. the block. It lands in. The Wildcats crash the party. Kentucky storms into Rec Hall and stuns the defending champions on banner night. What a moment. What a match for the Wildcats. And this is a signature moment.
So you guys go to Penn State, the defending national champs, and they like hang their banner and everything before the game. And then you guys come out and get the sweep. What was that like?
Yeah, we wanted to embrace the party crashers role. They had a big event before with a banner. They had a ton of people. It's their first home game of the year. And so we kind of want to just come in and embrace kind of like the villain role. We want to come in and silence the crowd. And when they get a point, the crowd is super loud and we don't. It's like super silent. And so we kind of just love that role that we were put into. And then yeah, just embrace the crowd. Craig always talks about loving the atmosphere, whether we're in our home gym or we're in away or a neutral spot. And so I think we just did a really good job of handling the pressure of the fans.
All right, so we're going to move on to this week, Asia. This week, you guys are probably tomorrow, I'm going to guess, headed to Fort Worth. You're going to be taking on another top 10 team here, Pittsburgh. And then this weekend, you guys are going to be at home finally. So I just want to talk about the games upcoming. And then are you guys looking forward to finally being at home?
Yes, very excited to be home. We've missed a lot of class, and so it's kind of hard first 2 weeks of school that we've missed a lot. But we're super excited to play Pitt. They're a very gritty and athletic team, and I think they play a little bit similar to us. And so I think that'll be a very big challenge facing their big blockers. And so I think just finding ways to score and serve pass game. And then yeah, I think we're just super excited to be home. It's been a hot minute. We had our exhibition here, and we had a pretty good turnout. So I think that our games versus SMU and Houston, hopefully we have a good amount of people come.
Yeah, you guys have two games this weekend. You have one Saturday at home at Memorial Coliseum, as well as Houston on Sunday. And if you guys don't know, it is free admission this weekend to the volleyball. So go to historic Memorial Coliseum and see these girls play. SMU is a top 10 team. So you're going to see a really good game and enjoy some great volleyball. Kentucky you guys went up to number 3 today in the poll, and you jumped Louisville. I don't know if you guys paid attention to that. Did you pay attention to that, Asia?
Our team doesn't really like to talk about rankings too much, just because kind of focus on the end in the natty. But yes, we did notice that we jumped Louisville.
And by the way, if you are a fan of Kentucky and Kentucky volleyball, I did notice today that they're doing like a bus ride to the Louisville game next week. You guys play number 4 Louisville next Thursday night in Louisville, and I know you guys are excited about that one as well.
Yes. We played them in the spring and it didn't go how we wanted, and I think we've improved tremendously from that. And so I think we're really excited to just show out and just go after them.
And then, Asia, I know you've got to run here in a minute. We appreciate you being on the show with us tonight. I want to get you out of here with this. I know you guys have big goals. So you are the 8-time defending SEC champions, Kentucky volleyball is. And I know you have the SEC goal this year as well as a national championship. So what would you like to see? What more would you like to see from your team going forward?
Yeah, I think just continuing to strive bigger. I feel like the standard here at Kentucky is the SEC championship every year, as well as a natty. And I think this group is so special. We're all best friends, and you don't really find that very often on college teams. And so I think just finding our groove towards the end of the season, we don't want to be a team that peaks in preseason or during SEC play. We want to be playing our best volleyball towards the end of the year for the Final Four. And so I think just continuing to get better as the year goes on. All
right, Asia, I really do appreciate you being with us tonight. I know that we are at the time, so we will say goodbye. But yes, let your teammates know we would love to have some more on, maybe even Coach Skinner later in the year.
Go Cats.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, and go Cats.
All right. Thank you, Asia.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That was Asia Thigpen. She is a sophomore on the Kentucky volleyball team this year, and they are 3-1 and ranked number 3 today in the polls. They played number 7 Pittsburgh on Wednesday night in Fort Worth, Texas. And then they come back home this week. It's the first game at home this season that they get. And they play number 10 SMU on Saturday and Houston on Sunday. And both games are free admission. So behind us here on the screen is Memorial Coliseum, the new historic Memorial Coliseum. Go check them out. It's free admission. You have no excuse not to go, right, John?
That's right. You
You can't be.
You don't have any excuse not to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
these
beat
girls are really, really good. Like I said, they beat, Penn State on banner night. They went in and, like she said, they crashed the party. And, they're going up to Fort Worth this week, and they're going to play Pittsburgh. They got SMU and Houston coming up. So get out and support these girls and what they're doing, and hopefully they can run another SEC championship around their waist because, it's – go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say 8 straight SEC championships.
They got the belt. Somebody's going to really have to knock them off to get the belt away from them.
Texas is up there this year. Florida is up there this year. If you follow volleyball, they do have a couple of challengers this year in the SEC, but you've got to trust Craig Skinner.
You do.
I mean, he has proven it time and time again. They won the 2020 national title after COVID. It was a little later in the year, but they won the 2020 national title, and they're going after a second one. If you go to Memorial this weekend, free admission. Next Thursday in Louisville, they are playing the Louisville Cardinals, who is number 4 in the country. Kentucky is number 3. So that kind of gives you a little bit of a look at the upcoming schedule for Kentucky volleyball. And John, I got to say, man, it's great to have her on.
It is, especially, with her dad being a big sports figure back in the day. He played under Mac Brown at North Carolina. A lot of sports family in that family. And, to see her accomplish what she's accomplishing in Lexington is quite awesome to see.
100%. We appreciate Asia. I want to give a shout out to Chris Scholes as well for helping set all this up. We appreciate Chris. We also appreciate Coach Skinner and Kentucky Volleyball for helping us put all this together and allowing Asia to be on with us tonight.
Yes, sir.
All right, John, we are going to move on to football, which might be a touchy subject, but we are going to move on to football. So over the weekend, Kentucky played Ole Miss at home at Kroger Field, and it looks like I might have lost John. Maybe he'll come back in. But this weekend we played Ole Miss. On Saturday, it was the 3:30 ABC game, and we played Ole Miss. Here's John.
My thing shut off for some reason. It wasn't because it was the football.
Yeah. I mentioned football, and you disappeared on me.
Yeah,
I mean, golly.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. As soon as I mentioned football, he's like, "Bye, I'm out of here."
See you later. I'm done. No, here's the thing, Brad. I kind of want to bring up about the whole Ole Miss game. If Kentucky was going to try to find a way for a bowl game, this was one of the games they needed to win, and they couldn't get it done.
They hung in. They were close throughout this game, but they had some offensive struggles. And I'm not talking about just play calls, or I'm not just talking about plays itself. Formation, just getting set up, execution. There was a lot of stuff in this game, John, offensively that simply put did not look good.
No, I mean they had a little spot there before halftime where they couldn't get lined up. They was pushing people from one side to the other. They had to call a timeout. Stoops was into it with the coaching staff on the sidelines. He was yelling at people. Like it was a complete cluster right before halftime. And then the last play I didn't understand was when Jack Calzada ran the ball down the field and just threw the ball sideways and got a penalty. Like it was a complete and utter disaster right before halftime. And that wasn't even the worst one. It was when they was getting ready to go up 10-0 and they had to call a timeout because they couldn't get the running back lined up in the right position, or the wide receiver was on the other side of the field. Like
even formations, they couldn't even come out from the sideline and first play, and they couldn't even get in formation. It really looked kind of embarrassing, to be honest.
It did. And what I didn't understand is, most high schools, I've seen it on the high school level. Most high schools even do better than that. I mean,
SEC level to have.
You even told me earlier this week, you said you could take a bunch of kids from Glasgow, the kids from Glasgow, and you could have them line up correctly.
Kind of what it reminded me of. I mean, there were some bright spots. I do have a couple of highlights here to show you guys. These highlights are going to be from ESPN. And I found these on YouTube, but these are from ESPN. I do want to point that out. But the first one I want to talk about is Lexington native, and his dad played for UK. Ty Bryant had a really good game, and I want to show a couple of highlights.
Low snap, handled by Simmons, laughs it up, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ty Bryant. And back it comes to the 30-yard line. Logan Diggs remains the running back. Third down and a long 9. And it's intercepted again. Again by Ty Bryant. And he's again inside the 35. Lane Kiffin sprinting out onto the field. He's going to calm down his young quarterback.
So again, John, that was Ty Bryant, Lexington native. Like I said, his dad played for Kentucky for Jerry Claiborne in the 80s. And I mean, he's got to have his flowers for the game that he had on Saturday. I know we took the loss, but Ty Bryant had a hell of a game.
He did, and I thought Alex Safari played really, really well. David Gusta, I think he was the one that forced that interception getting in Austin Simmons' face. Like, they put some pressure on the quarterback, but when it really mattered, they couldn't generate it. Like, on the fourth down play, Kentucky was up 10-0. It was, I think, 4th and 1 from Mississippi's own 48, and they make a big play right down the sidelines on 4th and 1, which changed the whole complete. If Kentucky gets the ball back there at probably midfield and they go in and go up 17-0, that's a totally different game. They went down, scored. It got to 10-7. The thing that really sticks out to me, though, Brad, is Kentucky has not won an SEC home game since September of 23.
2 years, 8 straight SEC home losses.
They are 2-12. They are 2-12 in their last 14 conference home games and have now lost 8 in a row. Most places that would get you fired.
Like, it's not good. I mean, there's just no way around that, saying that, which means they've done better on the road than they have at home for whatever reason. But I mean, at some point here, they do have to get off the schneid at home.
Yeah. And to be fair, the next opportunity is probably what? Tennessee, Texas. I think it's Texas. It's Texas,
which is not going to be, which is not going to be an easy task by any means, and neither is Tennessee.
No, I mean and then you got to play, Vanderbilt, which is much improved. You got to go on the road to South Carolina. This loss really hurt them Saturday because you get to this game and you get 2-0 and you beat Eastern Michigan this week. You're 3-0 going into the bye week, and you kind of feel pretty good. But now it's like you got to kind of grind to find wins to get to a bowl game.
I mean, I kind of think Stoops likes grinding, to be honest with you. But having said that, I mean, not winning SEC home games like they have done for the last 3+ years. I mean, they had a stretch there in 2021 where they beat Florida at home. They beat LSU at home. They had a really good stretch there in 2021. But since then, they really have kind of fallen off at home and not been great. I mean, let's just they've not been good at all, to be honest. But, I mean, it is what it is. They are going to have to find some wins if they want to go bowling. But one other thing that I wanted to bring up and kind of talk about here is the play of Seth McGowan. So I have another video here. Again, this is going to be from ESPN, but I want to play this on Seth McGowan's day.
Willie Rodriguez went in motion. McGowan puts his head down. Touchdown, Kentucky. What an effort by Seth McGowan. 2nd and goal from the 8. Lots of running room. McGowan's going to walk in. Untouched. Touchdown, Kentucky.
John, Seth McGowan 2 weeks in a row has been a bright spot on this team. He runs like he's mad at somebody.
Yeah, I was, me and Dad was at the game Saturday, and there was one play, I think, on that same drive where he ran over a Ole Miss defender, just hit him in the helmet, like just knocked him plumb over. I said, the man runs like a man possessed, that he's got something in him that's just an extra gear, and I love it from him. I love the running back room. I really love Dowdell. I even think we got a good wide receiver room. I think Kendrick Law played really, really well Saturday. Macklin made a big catch. The biggest issue to me, Brad, with this whole team is the quarterback play.
Well,
and it's been that way since the last 3 to 4 years.
It's been that way since Will Levis. But let's get to the quarterback issue. So Calzada was named the starter. I mean, at one point late in this game, early 4th quarter or something, ESPN or ABC actually put up a stat. So for passing longer than 11 yards, okay, his pass attempts on the season longer than 11 yards. This was before the Macklin throw, okay, where he hit Macklin down the field. But it was right before that. They put up a stat. Calzada was 1 for 18 for the season so far for passes thrown beyond 11 yards. I don't know about you, John, but that's not good.
It's not.
One for 18?
It's not acceptable.
I mean, listen, I know they paid him to be here. I know he has some SEC experience. I know he beat Alabama, all right, at Texas A&M. But at some point here, you've got to look and be like, okay, we have a guy sitting here that looked pretty good in fall camp. And unfortunately for Calzada, with about 7 minutes to go in the last play, and his last play, looked like he hurt his shoulder, so he is injured. And I just have a question for you. Do you think we're going to see Cutter Boley on Saturday?
I think it's a big probability. He came in at quarterback, I think, for the final 2 drives. Calzada got his shoulder injured. He showed some things to me. Stoops even said he wants to see more of Boley. So he might start Saturday against Eastern Michigan. But what I'm getting at here is it makes you wonder, why hasn't he been the star of the past 2 games? And what is really going on with the offense? Bush Hamda, I feel like he sets his quarterbacks up to fail. And I'm going to tell you where I was really aggravated. I was pissed off Saturday. And I'm going to tell you the exact play, and you probably remember the exact play I'm talking about. We have a 3rd and 8 at the Ole Miss 20, 25, 26-yard line. And we're driving. There's 5 minutes to go, maybe 6 minutes to go. It's 3rd and 8, okay? We run a quarterback draw on 3rd and 8.
For 1 or 2 yards. It kind of reminded me of Gavin Wimsatt last year.
And see, here's the thing about Stoops teams. They play hard, Brad. You see something in guys like you said, Ty Bryant, Seth McGowan.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're playing hard.
Alex Afari. I mean, there's, Dowdell has been playing well. I mean, we have a lot of guys that are playing hard.
And you look at the, preseason, they picked Kentucky next to last in the league. The team that took Ole Miss to the wire on Saturday, to me, looked better than the last place team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It looked like a team that has some potential, but Kentucky, that's all they were based on is potential. When are you actually going to break through? If you're just not good enough, to me, it's a cloudy area where you just don't know which team you're going to get from week to week. Now, I said it, me and you talked about this today. Eastern Michigan, they need to come out and absolutely weather whip these guys. They need to be up 35, 42 to nothing. They need to be up 42 to nothing at halftime. They don't need to hold no mercy.
I'd like to see this game be 56-7 or something like that. And I'm not playing whatsoever. I'd love to see Cutter Boley in. I don't think Calzada is going to be ready. I want to see him. I want to see him operate the offense. I actually want to see him have a little bit of leeway. Let him set the guys up, call some plays. Let the offense flow, because right now the offense is insanely terrible with execution and formation. Insanely terrible, to be honest.
You know what the difference in the game was Saturday? Ole Miss found explosive plays.
Yeah,
that's what they rely on.
Right.
Kentucky was up 10-0. They got out of a 10-0 deficit,
including that 4th down call at 4th and half a yard that they bombed.
And then the Kentucky defense, they kind of made Austin Simmons uncomfortable early. Then he found some big plays in the third and fourth quarter. Kentucky's offensive issues didn't help, and they had multiple 3-and-outs, some that even gave Ole Miss good field position. Ultimately, it came down to explosive plays, and Ole Miss made them.
I have a question, okay? And at the end of this game on Saturday evening, Kentucky had 2 drives that stalled. One of them stalled out at the 20-yard line. They were right at the 20, and they went for it on like 4th and 7 or 4th and 8 or something like that.
You're talking about the one where he threw the ball in the back of the end zone?
I'm talking about the one that Calzada got hurt on. Yes, the first one.
Yeah.
With about 7 or 8 minutes to go, we needed to score. All right, we were down 7. I have a question for you. Why are we going for it on 4th down? We have a kicker. If we kick that field goal, even if they do come down and score the field goal, we still have a chance to come down and tie and win that, or not win, but tie that game and get it to overtime.
And I say this, you kick that field goal there, it's 27-23 with probably 7 minutes to go. You stop Ole Miss the next drive.
They went 3-and-out.
And then they got the ball back, and they
drove down again. They drove down in field goal position a second time, okay? Was about the 27-yard line, but still in field goal position. And again, they went for it and didn't get it. There was 2 possessions that they had to put points on the board. And if you kick those field goals, that last drive, that last whatever it was, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever they had, that last little bit, you have a chance to win the game or tie the game if you kick the field goals. And I don't know about you, John, but I haven't heard any media person ask Stoops about this. Why are we continuously – it's about putting points on the board. You're in position to score points. It's only a 7-point game.
Don't make a lot of sense, does it? And, and then they had one right before halftime where it looked like we had a 62-yard drive down into the Ole Miss red zone, and Calzada's pass was knocked down, which we cut the lead to 14-13. You score on that drive, you're probably going into the half ahead because they only went down and kicked the field goal. I mean, just missed opportunities after opportunities. They had a defensive stop in the fourth quarter, and then they had a sack of Calzada, which put Kentucky. Then they went on a 4th and 4, and they ended up getting that one on a Kendrick Law on the kind of it was sort of like a jet sweep type where he just throws it to the wide receiver. We ended up getting that play, but just so many, Brad, missed opportunities and it was just not the offense. The defense missed some tackles. There was one play where they had Ole Miss stopped in the backfield, and he ran Kewan Lacey, the running back for Ole Miss, ran it and got extra yards. Like the defense, you cannot leave the defense out on the field all night because the offense is struggling right now, and you leave the defense out there all night, they're eventually going to get worn down, and that's what happened.
I mean, my thing is this, okay? So they went down after those 2 4th down giveaways where we could have scored points. They did go down and put a field goal on the board, and then they made it a 10-point game. All right? So when we got the ball back with 45 seconds or whatever it was, the game was pretty much out of hand.
It was.
I mean, but if you kick those field goals, you have a chance to either win or tie. And I just don't understand why twice they made that decision when they were in field goal
I'm
range.
going to say this to be fair to Ole Miss, since we're talking about Ole Miss. They got them a stud at running back, Keywan Lacey.
Yeah.
I was telling Dad on the way home, he was really, really good. You know, he come from Missouri. He was a Missouri transfer. He really played well Saturday. He went over the century mark in week 1 with 3 touchdowns. He beat us up on some long drives Saturday. They got themselves a really, really good running back. He could be in the mold of Quinshawn Junkins again when it's all said and done.
Look, Dowdell and McGowan are pretty good running backs as well. Like, I've been impressed with them, but that Lacey kid is a really good running back. I will say that.
I will tell you another one that hurt us for Ole Miss was Harrison Wallace, the wide receiver for Ole Miss. He, you know, like I said, that 4th and 1 from midfield and Austin Simmons play action and Ty Bryant. It might have been Ty Bryant. It might have been JQ. I can't remember who it was on the play was a tough catch, and the guy made it going from his back, and then kind of went down the sidelines, and that just changed like the whole momentum of the game. Like, and they go down, they score, and they cut it to 10-7, and it just felt like we was on our heels the rest of the night.
I agree. So, I want to wrap this up by saying here, I do believe we will see Cutter Boley. We are playing Eastern Michigan. It opened at like a 25.5-point favorite for Kentucky. This Eastern Michigan team is not a great team. Cutter Boley in this offense ought to be able to put together something heading into the bye week. And who knows?
I'll say this. If people don't know, some don't watch college football, some don't. But Eastern Michigan lost to Long Island this past weekend.
They did.
28-23. And I want to say this. If you cannot beat Eastern Michigan and blow them out, we got some real issues on our hands.
So,
and this is the same team that Florida beat, 55-0?
55-0, yeah. The Long Island team was.
And Florida found out real quick Saturday what their season's about to fall into.
So some of the top bright spots for me, I really like the running back room. I like Seth McGowan. I like Dante Dowdell as well. I'm not I think we have some good tight ends. I think we have some good wide receivers. I like Gilmore as well. And so I think we didn't mention his name a while ago.
You know what my bright spot is? The offensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line has played a lot better.
It's major improved from a year ago.
It was, or it has been. I mean, Ole Miss has some players. I mean, they are ranked in the top 15 in the country.
I'll be honest with you. The offensive line Saturday, they blow some holes up for McGowan and Dowdell. They was creating some holes. If they can do that against a Ole Miss team that's pretty much 4 stars, there's a few 5 stars on that team. If you can do that against the good Ole Miss team, you got a shot at beating some of these like Tennessee, Florida, Vanderbilt,
South Carolina.
You got an opportunity. You just got to get the offense on schedule and in tune with one another. You can't be having these timeouts early in the game, like right out of the gate against teams like South Carolina on the road. You just cannot have those things happen.
I mean, early in this game, we got 2 picks. Ty Bryant is definitely a bright spot in this game.
He is. I like Ty Bryant. I think Ty Bryant's a good player. I do. I think the front 4 is much improved with Gusta, Grace, Khalil Saunders. Khalil Saunders is having a absolutely brand of a year. He started out really fast. Now, some of the DBs, the linebackers are not as good as they have been the last couple of years. Now, Afari leads that group. Afari's probably one of your best players on defense. when it comes to linebackers. But, we'll find out these next couple of weeks.
100%. I know Josh was disappointed on Saturday. I appreciate you being here, Josh. Yes, we did have some opportunities in this game, and could we had come out with a win? I mean, if we have a little bit better offensive execution, yes. I mean, I think that we very much could have. I mean, there was a couple of plays that they were close on. I mean, Cutter Boley come in late there and had one down the sidelines that was really close.
He just overthrew it.
Just a little bit,
And then there was one play in general when Josh Caddis, they threw the ball to Caddis and the defender was hanging all over him. They didn't even call it.
They did. Yeah, and they didn't call it. Yeah, that was kind of late too, a little bit there in one of those later, like late third or early fourth or something like that drive. So I mean, there is some bright spots here. I do not think this team is ready to fall apart by any means.
I'm going to say this real quick before we move on, though, Brad. If this continues, I'm not talking about Stoops. I'm talking about Hamda. If this continues with Bush Hamda, he'll be packing his bags at the end of the year.
Or maybe sooner. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, John. It was embarrassing. I mean, even the announcers, ABC's talking about it.
What I don't understand, Brad, is why is he not on the sideline?
I don't know. I don't like it, to be honest with you. He has no feel for the game up there in the booth. I don't like it. I never have liked it. As far as I'm concerned, Kentucky's never had a good offensive coordinator in the booth, and I'm including Liam Cohen in that. The year that Liam Cohen was here and we were really good, he was on the sideline with Will Levis. He come back the following year and with Leary, and he wasn't nearly as good as he was the first time.
No.
So, all right, we're going to wrap up the football talk here. We do play Eastern Michigan at Kentucky. It's at 7:30 at Kroger Field on Saturday night. And I just want to say how appreciative I am myself here. Here at College Sportscast, we will be there to cover this game. It is a big deal. And I just want to say thank you to the University of Kentucky, to Susan, to Evan, to anybody who has anything to do with football. I just want to say thank you. If you are going to Lexington, get there early, go to the volleyball game.
You had to throw that in there, didn't you?
I did, man. I mean, get there early. It's free, guys. You can't be free.
And Asia would like to see you there. She even said it she wanted you to be there. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So go to the game, get there early, go to the volleyball game. The volleyball game starts at 3:00. It's number 10 SMU on Saturday.
Hey, Brad, I think everybody's wanting us to talk about what everybody wants us to talk about. Kentucky basketball.
We're still a basketball school, no matter what. We're still a basketball school. All right, we are going to move on. We are going to go into a little bit of talk here on Kentucky men's basketball and just give you guys a few updates and some things that's going on. The team is practicing. Go ahead. The team is practicing.
Did you see where Jaden Plants has grown 2 inches?
I did see that. I saw it yesterday, I think, or this morning, maybe something like that. He's gained 2 inches in height and gained like 30 or 40 pounds. He's like 255 or something.
He's 6'10" and a half and 255 pounds.
Yeah. And he was 6'9" and like 215 or something like that, 220. Josh says he's stuck in Louisiana. Boy, I hate that for you. You might have to go to the cheer on the Tigers though over the Gators on Saturday maybe or something down there. Also, did you see they did a highlight reel with Colin Chandler, and everybody's talking about one of his dunks. You're muted, John.
It was impressive. I seen it, and I saw a few practice highlights. This team is going to be absolutely fun to watch. You know, Denzel Aberdeen, Trent Noah's getting in on the mix. Trent Noah's going to be really good again. I think Colin Chandler has a chance to really, you know, I didn't care much for him last year. You know that I did not like the substitutions. I just didn't think he was it was the way he was being put in the game, more or less, than it was just not liking him as a player. I just felt like he was just a freshman. He was too young to be in the game with what we had. But, you know, he's turned my corner as a player, and I think he's going to have a year or two that's going to be one to remember.
So there's also been a lot of praise for the improvement of the new Kentucky point guard. So I want to give you the floor, to talk about Lowe a little bit.
Oh, Jalen Lowe, I you didn't really like the pickup.
Well, I mean, he was like number 2 or maybe number 3 down the board that they went after.
Lowe is a really, really good basketball player. Lowe, he was all ACC third team last year. He had 16 points a game. Now, ACC basketball is not what SEC basketball is, and his whole team was not as talented as he was. But I think we're going to see. There's not going to be no shortage of eyes on Lowe. No matter, he'll have plenty of opportunities to showcase what he's got on the national stage. They play Michigan State in the Champions Classic. They play Louisville right out of the gate, which I'm not a huge fan about.
Me either.
They play St. John's. Pope is going to love on his guards. Pope likes his guards. He likes to use them quite a bit. I think his shooting efficiency might drop a little bit. I think he could be in the tone of another Lamont Butler type, except maybe the scoring. He's a better scorer than Lamont Butler is. Lamont Butler's more defensive, taking the ball out of your hands, forcing you to make mistakes. I think Lowe's a different kind of player. I think he's more of a shooter, and he has a high volume of points.
He also likes to drive. He has a quick first step, and he likes to drive. And he's a pretty good, disher. He dishes it out and getting those assists and things. So I expect him. I'm kind of warming up to him now. Early on, I wasn't.
He's very crafty. He's left-handed. He has a feel for the game. He's not a very elite athlete, but he makes up for it with the way he dribbles the ball, his passing, his pick and rolls. Defensively, he has really good hands. His shooting inconsistency to me is a major concern, because without the ball, his ability to impact the game without the ball, I think, is still a work. He can sometimes be careless with the basketball, like you said. He showed some big improvement, I thought, in his role with Pittsburgh last year. Now, whether he develops into an NBA player, we'll find out. But he has a very proven dynamic talent. I think he's going to maximize a lot of things under Pope's offense and the way he runs things.
So everybody at Kentucky now knows Otega Oweh, so he is definitely going to be a key. But I'm going to be honest with you, John. I think Jaden Quaintance is the main key that's going to take this team over the top. His health coming back, his size, his defensive prowess. I think he's going to be a huge, huge piece
I do.
for this team.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know, he played last year, most know, for Arizona State. He had 9 points per game. He averaged 7.9 rebounds. Now, he did tear his ACL, which he's trying to get back to on the floor. Many are projecting him to be back by mid-December. You know, a lot of people are saying November. Some are saying December. Some are even saying October. We don't know. But I will say the goal is to have him back by SEC play. This is exciting, Brad. He's going to be an absolute maniac in the SEC. He might be the best athlete in all of college basketball. He's added muscle. There ain't nobody gonna move this guy in the paint. I can tell you. He's going to be hard.
And not to mention, John, he blocks shots at a major high rate.
He does. And you know what's even scarier is he's probably the best defender in all of college basketball.
He could be.
And he develops his game shooting. If he can improve his jump shot, you know, inside the paint.
And this is college. Just give him the ball and let him eat down low, man.
It's going to be hard to score on Kentucky down low when they got an elite rim protector down there. We could have a season the Wildcats haven't saw in a long time.
I want to see a beast down low. That's what I want.
It might be one of the biggest runs that we've had. And this might be, I was telling somebody today, this might be one of the best Kentucky teams that Kentucky has had probably in the last 5 or 6 years, maybe since John Calipari's first year with John Wall and those guys. I think they're that capable of making a run. And I know people say, well, it's just September. It's too early to – no. If you look at this roster as a whole, it's got the capability of making a run.
I'm not ready to call us that we're going to make a Final Four or nothing. I'm not saying that. John might be, but I'm not. But I do think that there is a lot of potential on this team, to be honest with you. A lot, to be honest.
I want to ask a question before we get off here. Who do you think the third toughest opponents are on our schedule this year?
Are you talking basketball?
Basketball, yeah. Boys, men.
I mean,
I think one has to be St. John's.
St. John's, yeah. Louisville early is probably going to be a test.
Florida will be one.
Florida is definitely going to be a test.
Tennessee will be good again. They got the Jacoby Gillespie kid. I think Tennessee will be really good. Now, I don't think Tennessee will be as great as they was a year ago, but I think they'll have better guard play this year. They're really going to miss Zakai Ziegler.
Yeah, I think so.
In my opinion.
Wouldn't. I can't imagine they wouldn't, to be honest.
But I think they fill that hole with Jacob Gillespie. I think he's really, really good. I think he's a really good guard from Maryland. That was one that you wanted at Kentucky, but I think he's originally from Tennessee.
Yeah,
he was pretty much a lock to Tennessee once he got in the portal. So Alabama's going to be good. Arkansas is going to be pretty good. Georgia will be improved. Ole Miss will be good again with Chris Beard. SEC, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be another lock and load league. Like every night is going to be a war.
It will be. Looking forward to the season, but we are going to switch now and talk about some women's basketball. Before we end the show here, John, Kenny Brooks has got a lot of talent coming back as well.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a summer media thing for the team and got to talk to the girls, and they seem pretty confident. I mean, Taoni Key flat told me for her senior year, she is looking for an SEC title.
Yeah, she was a big piece to that team last year. They had a top 20 recruit in Kaylin Carroll. They got Tony Morgan. One
of the top guards in the portal, Tony Morgan was.
Kenny Brooks bounced back in year 2. it was a chaotic off season for them. There was a lot of things that went on in the public eye that happened, which we mentioned that when it happened with the whole Cassidy Rowe issue, but that's beyond that now. But
yeah,
the roster work has been really strong. He's entering year 2. Like I said, he made some really good moves. Kaylin Carroll is really, really good. She's a top 20 recruit.
I've seen her practice a couple of times. I mean, she's really good.
She can score. She's going to push for a lot of minutes in that backcourt, which they're going to really need it with, Georgia Amore not being there this year. She's gone to the WNBA. The front court is going to be strong. That's where it lies. You got Clara Stratt coming back, a walking double machine. That girl is.
Yeah, and you got Taoni Key. You've got Amelia Hassett. I mean, and then you throw in Kaylin Carroll, who is 6'3", and can play inside some as well.
But I will say losing Clara Silva kind of hurts, but I think that kind of gives other people a chance to kind of open up and get more playing time and should be better.
I actually think, John, this team is going to be a lot more guard-oriented than people think. I think people think this is going to be a down low, a front court team. But when you look at this team, they went out, they got Asia Boone, they went out and got Josie Gilvin.
Jordan Obi's back.
They went out and got Josie Gilvin from Western. These are 2 solid pickups who have a lot of playing time.
You got to add in Lexi Blue. She was a former 4-star recruit.
And then you get 2 girls back from injury, Jordan Obi and Dominika Porova. And you get 2 of them back, plus you add in Tony Morgan. I think this team is going to be a lot more guard-oriented than people are thinking that they are. And
they opened their season with Norhead State.
Look for this team to shoot lots and lots of threes.
It's a rebuild roster. There's a lot of high expectations. It's the wins that gets me, Brad. It's not the talent that he can't get, because he can get talent. It's the wins. It's the Texas A&M game a year ago. There was just a few games where it just seemed like that they just fell apart in the third and fourth quarters. Yeah, and they just did not know how to. They did not know how to respond. And you went to the Texas game last year. I thought they played Texas really well, but Texas was just on another level. They played Tennessee. I think they beat Tennessee.
Oh, we beat the snot out of Tennessee last year. But I seen us play LSU. I seen us play Texas. I went to some really good games last year against some really stout competition in the women's game, and they held their own. I mean, honestly, and last year they only had like 5 or 6 players that really played good ball a lot and was productive. This team, I really do feel like this team could go 8 or 9 deep.
I think they can.
Asia Boone, I've seen her practice, guys. She's going to be really good. She's got 2 years left. She's impressive. This is the guard from Liberty. And she's impressive, and she can shoot the ball. Mm-hmm. Josie Gilvin is great shooting. She's great defending. She creates a ton of steals. I think she led or was one of the tops in the country in steals last year. She's great with her hands. She kind of reminds me, if you guys remember Reed, how he always was tipping passes and tipping balls and getting his hands on balls and stuff. That's what Josie Gilvin does. And she creates a lot of turnovers for her team, and I think that's going to be a big plus. This team, John, so far, preseason wise, is not getting the love. They've been outside of the top 25 in a couple of the polls that I have seen. Don't be surprised that this team climbs up. I mean, maybe even inside the top 10.
Yeah,
before
I wouldn't
the
be
season.
shocked. I wouldn't be shocked.
I mean, they have a really good team. I'm looking forward to coverage. I want to leave it here for you guys tonight. So, the SEC basketball media tip-off is October 14th and 15th in Birmingham, Alabama. I got something a few days ago about the basketball tip-off. I did get to go last year. Looking forward to the opportunity if I get that this year. But the basketball tip-off is October the 14th and 15th. I'm talking SEC basketball tip-off, the media days for it in Birmingham, Alabama. And that's how close we are to basketball season, John. What is today? September the 8th? September the 8th, I believe. So October the 14th, we're looking at basically about 5 weeks before the true tip-off to basketball. So here in Kentucky, that is a big deal to tip off basketball. We all look forward to that, right, John?
Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap this up. Go to Home Field Apparel. You can check out lots and lots of really cool retro Kentucky gear. It is premium licensed collegiate gear. It's retro style. They have retro logos, mascots, throwback jerseys, bomber jackets. They have a ton of cool stuff. Check them out. Use our code CSCast. We would appreciate that. I do want to give a shout out to the Real Fresh channel and to Stadium Rant. Check them out on YouTube. Like their page.
Also, a big shout out to Chris Scholes and all of the volleyball tonight for letting us do this tonight. It was a honor. Check out with Bird's Eye View photography on Instagram, College SportsCast Flicks, with updated media pics of Kentucky football, volleyball, basketball, and more.
And guys, I want to wrap this up. John's already kind of said it, but at the end here, I do want to give a huge thanks. It's on the very bottom of the screen rolling. I want to give a huge thanks to Kentucky Volleyball and to Asia Thigpen tonight for joining us on our debut show of Wildcat Weekly.
And I will say, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and tomorrow night we will be back with the Big Fuss Show on Tuesday night, and they are a lot of things to talk about tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we will be back with the Big Fuss Show tomorrow night.
Some upsets this weekend. Florida got upset. Mississippi State knocked off Arizona State. College football feels like it's wide open, Brad.
It kind of does, to be honest with you. But guys, check out Kentucky sports this week. There's a lot of good stuff going on. There's some top 10 volleyball games to check out. There is possibly Cutter Bowley playing on Saturday. More than likely, I think Cutter Bowley playing on Saturday. We're getting closer to basketball, and we have a lot here to talk about on our new show, Kentucky Wildcat Weekly, College SportsCast Wildcat Weekly. And I want to give a big thanks to Chris Scholes, Kentucky Volleyball, Coach Skinner, and Asia Thigpen for being on our show tonight. Enjoy, as the show ends tonight, enjoy a special look inside Bridgestone Arena. And the opening weekend, there was 4 big teams that including number 1 Nebraska, number 3 now Kentucky, that opened the season in Nashville and Bridgestone Arena. And I've got some highlights for you to enjoy as the show ends tonight. So with that said, we're going to say goodnight. We hope you enjoyed Wildcat Weekly, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the Big Fuss Show.
For Bridgestone Arena here in Nashville, Tennessee is about to see not one, but 3 volleyball matches. The stars are out in the Music City, and these stars shine bright on the volleyball court.
Wow, Nashville really showed up. Line around the block, going to be a big atmosphere today.